Ready to get the inside scoop on equity funding? Tune into TDJ Equity Funding Insiders podcast for an in-depth look at what it takes to access financial capital and maximize your investments. Hear from experienced professionals, including bankers, underwriters, loan officers, and industry experts as they share their unfiltered stories and valuable lessons on securing funds.
Okay, we want to welcome everyone to our Giving Power to the Business Owner series. And I'm your host, Jacqueline Jackson, with TDJ Equity Funding here in Frisco, Texas. So here at the GPBO, we plan to have our guests to come on that can give power to our business owners as well as to our real estate investors. So today we have a guest, an exceptional gentleman that's come to bring us some of his knowledge that can do just that. His name is Mychael Anderson, and Mychael Anderson is from Dallas, Texas. Mychael left a six-figure Fortune 50 career to build freedom through real estate investing, and now he helps others do the same through his escape velocity framework. In this session, he's going to share practical strategies for investors who want to scale, build systems, and create sustainable momentum in their business. Whether you are new to the real estate or you already growing your portfolio, this conversation will give you insight into how to move from motivation to execution. Welcome, Mychael, to our show.
Thank you for having me, Jackie. Thank you.
And we're so glad that you are here. So let's get it started with first your name, the title you have, which is, and we love it, which is Real Estate Investment Impact Architect. Can you please explain why that's the title you go by?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So real estate investment is what got me out of the cycle of 9 to 5 into my, financial freedom. Now, the reason that I got Impact Architect is because we live in a society of mentors that speak about mentality and so forth. For me, it's about impact. What do you have that can create impact in somebody's business that can in turn create the impact that they're looking for in their life? And behind that is always action, which is why I put the architect behind that, is because no matter what you have, you always have to put it into action. So with me going into real estate, with me being able to acquire the things that I've acquired in the time that I've done it, I feel that my experience and what I've done can be an impact to those who are looking to do the same.
Okay, and I think that's wonderful. So that's why you actually that, and you are doing a lot of impact. You are helping a lot of people to see how to actually grow, especially in this real estate game. So when you describe yourself as helping high-level individuals get paid, okay, through real estate, what does that practically look like today in your business model and typically on your client profiles?
Yeah, so it's also important to understand that escape velocity is not specifically real estate, but in terms of real estate, when we're helping high level individuals get paid through real estate, is a partner company that we have also called Let's Get Paid, which I'll give you the information for. And that is teaching investors every part of real estate investing when it comes from a point of single family. As we know, there are so many entry points into real estate investing. We have wholesaling, you have your fix and flip, you have your buy and hold, and so forth. But rarely do you have a program that shows you everything from start to finish. And we pride ourselves on showing people that because we increase your profit strategies. So no matter what you decide to do, no matter how you decide to enter into real estate investing, we want to make sure that you get paid.
Great. So can you walk us through the escape velocity framework at the high level and specifically how does it apply to real estate investors who want to scale a portfolio or for those who want to transition from out of that W-2 income?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So escape velocity is really battling the middle ground, right? We all make that statement. We want to be this, or we want to do this or do that, but it's about identifying where we are once we make that statement, right? So if I say, so in terms of real estate investors, we want to be a real estate investor. Whoever's out there listening, you say, I want to be a real estate investor and I want to be a high level real estate investor. The biggest thing with the escape velocity framework is identifying where you are right now. Where you are right now based on where it is that you want to be.
Right.
Now, let's truly identify where we want to be. And then after that, let's identify what's holding us back. What's keeping us from doing that? And then once we do that, we're able to reverse engineer a process and actually create a system that we can go step by step so we can get to exactly where it is that we want to go. That way, we're not feeding off of a spark of motivation, right? Which I believe in motivation, but I don't believe that motivation is sustainable. Okay. What we want to do is we want to create a thrust, right? That's going to actually put us into motion by following certain steps that's going to create the momentum to build the success that we want to build in real estate investing or whatever business that may be for you.
Okay, great. So, like, if one of TDJ Equity listeners, insider listeners, is active in real estate as an investor right now, what are the three concrete outcomes or shift could they expect by applying your framework in 90 days?
Absolutely. So, for one, you're going to identify where you're at, like we spoke before.
Okay.
Two, we're going to see what's keeping you from doing that. Three, most importantly, what we're going to do is we're going to create a process that you can consistently follow. Right. And the reason I say consistently, because sometimes we have to create something that's concrete so that we're not worried about how we feel, right, in order to get it
Right.
done. Because we understand whoever's a real estate investor, there are times that you wake up in the morning and you may not feel like doing it,
Right.
right? But if we're going towards a certain goal, we understand that there are things that have to get done, bottom line. So, what process can we put in place to make sure those things get done? So after 90 days, and we know how real estate is, the market is forever changing, right? So after 90 days, you're going to know exactly where you're at to make sure you're on the trajectory route that you plan to be on, or if you need to recalibrate. But at that point in time, we'll have growth. We'll know exactly where we stand from where we were to where it is that we know we want to go.
Okay, so something that we know that a lot of investors often get this wrong. How does your framework address the realities of leverage, funding structures, and using other people's money?
So in the terms of real estate, we're kind of going to go off of escape velocity and go directly into our real estate program. Let's get paid.
Okay.
How we structure that is when it comes to OPM. I'm sure everybody has heard of that. Is we do it through subject to creative financing, utilizing other people's loans, right, in order to give us the leverage that we need in buying power. I think the misconception in real estate is that we all have to come in with a lot of money.
Right.
Uh, and I would like to debunk that. It's more we need to come in with the knowledge, right, that keeps us from having to use a lot of money. And
Exactly.
that's creative financing. And I think that's the biggest thing about Let's Get Paid when it comes to real estate investing is that we teach you how to go and do that creative financing, right, without having to use your credit and getting the leverage of utilizing other people's money, as in being able to utilize their loan. That way, it maximizes your buying power in the market as an investor.
Exactly. And one thing we see as loan brokers, which I love what you do, you help them to see the reality of things. I've seen sometime we have clients come in on real estate and they're new, and they're stunned to realize that soft cost is something that the lender's not going to pay for, which is
Hmm.
you getting it together, the architect plans, and getting the survey, getting all that. And they really expect it's going to be paid. Nothing's going to pay 100%. So
Hmm.
it's great to have you where they can come to and you can bring them into reality. Listen, this is how this works. So that's why we think what you guys are doing is so important. So let me ask you this: what stage of an investor, what stage of investors get the most benefit from your approach?
I'd say every stage. I think more so now the investor that's going to get the most benefit from us is the investor that is looking to invest in single family. As
Okay,
we know, there's
multifamily.
multifamily, there's commercial and all that. And I
It's
wouldn't
a
steer
lot.
you down a way that I haven't navigated, right?
Right.
But when it comes to single family, whether you're a new investor in single family or whether you're a seasoned investor in single family and you're looking at a way to scale or do more, we can benefit you because we have done this at scale. We have helped investors that have done it at scale as well by teaching them. So, because you get some single family investors that only navigate one aspect of the single family real estate investing process. They're able to come to us, work with us, and learn the different avenues and aspects of being in single family real estate investing, which then again we threw around the word leverage, which gives them the leverage when it comes to how they structure their profit strategies. So whether you're new and you're just looking in to get into real estate investing, or whether you're seasoned and you're looking to add to the knowledge so you can add to your portfolio or add to your strategies of
Right.
profit, we're the right stop for you.
Okay, so our audience here, and you and I have talked on this. Our audience hear a lot of mindset talk. We talk
Mhm.
about it all the time. What is uniquely different about how you blend mindset, personal development, and concrete investing strategies so it doesn't feel like fluff?
Right. So the thing about mindset, and mindset is important, right? You have to have the right mindset to do anything worthwhile in life. But the thing about it is, if you're here already, you've probably already developed that mindset. So we don't want to keep punching something down, on your face that you already know. So
Right.
for us, it's about action. Okay, you have the mindset, that's good. You're here, you're wanting to learn. Okay, we're about action and structure and process, right? Because again, you can have all the mindset in the world. That's just a spark. We want to create a thrust. So we have
Right.
structures that show you how to do it, right? By holding your hand through each step of the process so you can actually learn the action part of it, not just having the mindset. And I think that's big in any business, but especially real estate investing, because we
Right.
have a lot of quote unquote real estate investors,
Right.
right? We don't want you to just say that. We want you to be able to show that, right? And the only way that you can show that is through your actions. So we develop a process and a structure that you're able to follow by us holding your hand that gets you from talking and mindset to action and results.
Exactly. That's great. So let me ask you this. Can you share like a brief story of a real estate investor you work with, where they started, what parts of your framework you implemented, and then, something that was measurable business portfolio results that they achieved?
Right. So I've got one. He's actually a really good friend of mine now as well. I'll just put his first name out there, Chris. Now, Chris, when he started with the program, and mind you, Chris started well before the framework of escape velocity, but we
Okay.
were using those. I'll say we were using those the structures of it to work with them. But he was in the process and the structure of let's get paid. And Chris had no real estate background. Chris was in collections. He did work for a mortgage company, but in terms of actual real estate investing, no education. He came in, he was able to learn the process, he was able to implement things from
Hmm.
that process. And in doing so, you automatically learn about the off market real estate investing game. And then it got to a point where Chris, where I say it's that decision point, right? We get that point, okay, this is what we've done in real estate. This is where we're still are. We're trying to leap off of this planet of this 9 to 5 world into this full time real estate investor, and we've done enough to where we can actually make that decision. So Chris was actually able to make that leap and leave his full time job and be a full time real estate investor. And I think to date, he's done over 25, close
Oh,
to
wow.
30 deals. And
Nice.
yeah, as of right now, yeah, Chris is a full time real estate investor. He's still out there in acquisitions, bringing in deals, and flipping houses.
Great. It's just great just to have you guys, someone like you all as a partner, which we
Mhm.
definitely want our listeners to know. We want them to reach out to you. We will have his information. I want to put this in now on our referral page. And at the end, he's going to tell you how to get in touch with them now as well. Okay. So y'all can reach out to him. So let's do like a deep dive type questions. Okay.
Mhm.
When an investor is already doing consistent deal flow, What specific hidden drag do you typically diagnose first?
Um, I think the big one is profit, right? I would, and it's because, and the reason I say this is because we know the market changes.
Right.
So sometimes they're an investor that can come in, they can be a seasoned investor. They've been doing this for a while. They've been following a very specific strategy, and then the market changes.
Mm,
And that market affects the cash flow, right? We don't do this just to do it. We do it to make money.
right.
So again, that's where our recalibration comes in a forever changing market, in a forever changing industry, right? So my first thing would be where are those margins and what can we do to make sure that we're still hitting the same margins that we were when we were getting the success that we were getting, right? Is that tweaking our buy box? Is that tweaking how we acquire properties? Is that tweaking what type of properties we acquire or we're marketing to?
Right.
So I'll be going to that. And then marketing as well. What's the volume of our marketing? When things get slow, are we still staying the same pace? Or are we picking up our marketing? Are we
Right.
reaching more people than we once were to get to be able to cover the amount of profits that we're expecting or that we're wanting? I think sometimes we go the same pace and that deal flow starts to drop and we don't realize that we have to pick the efforts up as well. And that can take a level up from the whole organization, as in even if it's just yourself or if you have a group of investors that you're working with, and whatever role you guys play, you guys have to turn it up.
Exactly. And so, and I love the part that, and I think a lot of investors, even some seasons, because we've noticed them, the market changed and they don't know what to do. You know, that's what we realized. They thought they knew what to do. And because you see the results of what happened to their portfolio. And that's what I like to say, you and I talked about it, that you give them in the framework of how to read that market because it's not going to be what you used to all the time when it changed what you do. And that's what I think is really great about what you all have. Now, another question, because you and I talked about that most frameworks sound great at the whiteboard. We talked about that. But
Mm-hmm.
let's break down between underwriting and assets management, where you have seen your framework probably fail in a field for an investor, but what did you change? What process matrix or mindset did you do to fix that?
Um, Really, that comes from the buy box.
Okay.
Because in real estate, and you've probably heard this before, the money is made in the buy. The money is made in the buy. So a lot of times when we see a drop off in the cash flow, it's because we didn't buy right. Now, the unfortunate part of this sometimes is we have to live and learn. So sometimes it takes us experience in that failure to understand that, okay, now it's time to recalibrate. We can't buy the way we once did. Whether that's putting market discounts on or whatever the case we may be doing, we have to put ourselves in a position so we're always buying right.
Right.
So that would be the biggest thing. Yeah.
Yeah, they're always about right. And I think that's great. And that's where you guys can come in and kind of help people to understand how to do that with
Mhm.
actual facts. Because you and I talked about that. Not like, oh, I got a gut feeling on this one. You said no gut
No,
feeling.
you do not want to buy real estate off feeling. That's how you
Right.
go broke.
So on most like sophisticated operators already have a master mindset. We talked on this too.
Uh-huh.
Coaches, CRMs, they already have all this stuff. What are the first two or three things you ask them to stop doing or tracking because it's actually capping their portfolio escape velocity?
Now let ask that again. I want to come up with the best answer for that. Let's
Okay,
run it by me.
so you know you deal with it. Some of them that already know, they
Mm-hmm.
already know everything. They just coming to you see what you can do. But
Uh-huh.
you notice there are like you mentioned it. What are the first two or three things you ask them to stop doing or tracking because they're actually capping their portfolio off?
Let's see. From an escape velocity framework, what are they tracking? What would I tell them to stop tracking? If they're coming to me, it's because they want more.
Right.
It's because they want more. So I would stop tracking the past and what
Right.
we've done in the past and figure out where we are right now. because what you've done back then sometimes doesn't translate to what needs to be done right now.
Exactly.
So that goes back to identifying where we are and where it is that we want to go or want to be. And you can't take the past with you when you do that. Nobody cares about what you've done, they only care about what you're doing. So if what you're doing is not getting the results that you want, I need you to stop tracking the past. And then I
Right.
need you to recalibrate based on where we are in the present and then see where it is that we want to be in the future so we can reverse engineer that to make sure that we are actually navigating the correct trajectory route that's going to get us there. So that you got to be open. You have to put your pride aside. We have to put our ego aside. We know there's a lot of ego in real estate investing.
It is.
If you want to grow, you've got to put that aside. Okay. I always say, but remain a student of the game. Even myself, I'm always a student.
Right.
And that's what allows us to continue to grow. I never think I know everything because, as we know, the market will humble you really quick,
Quickly.
right? It
Quickly,
will
and that
humble
is
you
true.
really quick. So don't think that you know it all based on some things that you've done because
Right.
there's a lot of people that made a lot of money in 2008, right? In the market crash. There's a lot of people that lost money. Well, this is not that. So you can't base something off of something that you did a long time ago and just know that it's going to work right now. And I come across a lot of that. And I think we see a lot of that in the real estate investing education realm is that we have a lot of people teaching based on things that they've done years ago,
Right. I agree.
right? And then we have a lot of people learning based on people that are teaching off stuff that they've learned years ago and they're trying to implement that in today's market and they grow
Exactly.
frustrated and
Exactly.
swindled. And then they want to throw their hands up and it doesn't work. No, it's not that it doesn't work. It's just what you're doing doesn't work. And that's what we pride ourselves on is because we're able to show you what we're doing real time, what's happening right now, what adjustments need to be made now. But you have to be open and receiving that so you can implement that in your real estate business to aid you into your success.
Right. So they have to come to get ready for new skills. And I'm saying that when I say that, I'm talking about people that have been doing it for a while and have been seasoned and have portfolios. They don't realize how much stuff changed from what you have. We know what you had last year, but this
Right.
year's a whole different year. So that's what I love about you guys, because you said, like I said, you're always learning and you paying attention to the changes in the market because you know how you thought before and you say things just change and I have to flow with it to see what's going on. And I love that part. You don't stick to last year teaching. You're always updating your framework. You're always changing that. And we need someone that can help us do that and change with the time. So let me ask you this. So how does the framework help investors make different decisions at the inflection point of between do another value added deal and recycle equity?
Is it working? I think it's the simple question based on what we're
It's
doing.
true.
Is it working? If it's working, okay, continue to do what you're doing. If it's not working, okay, we need to recalibrate.
So are you saying don't move with the crowd? Is that what you're telling me?
If I wouldn't say move with the crowd, I wouldn't say don't move with the crowd. If what you're doing is working
Right.
and it's getting you to your desired point, stick with it. If it's not, recalibrate and see where it is that we need what do we need to change, where at do we need to change, and then implement.
Right, right. That makes sense. A lot of sense. All right, so trying to end some things down. If you could sit inside an investor's weekly operating rhythm, how they do what they do, a team meeting, let's say they're a lender's call. What very specific lending indicators would you tell them about to hit in order for them to show up in their P&Ls and their balance sheets? What do they need to look at doing? How should they structure that to address that in real time?
From a lender perspective,
Yes, sir.
so the thing with lenders, and this is where I'm gonna be completely transparent, we don't deal with too many lenders. Is because we have mastered the art of creative finance. So our lender coordination is more dealing with lenders of homeowners that are sellers that we're buying from.
Mm.
So I would never steer you the wrong way or claim to have a level of expertise that I don't have. So when it comes to dealing with outside lenders, such as hard money lenders or whatever the case may
Right.
be, we don't do too much dealing with that. Our dealing, like I said, is mastering the art of creative finance and utilizing other people's loans. So the lenders that we're dealing with are the sellers lenders.
And see, we want to be fair because we are those type of lenders. But what you're saying, I see it a lot with the real estate portfolio and even with mine,
Mhm.
is that you're right. You can't have a lender on everything you do. At some point in time, you got to let that go. And that's what I think is great about your program. You showing, hey, this is how we do it without lenders.
Hmm.
And because I don't think a lot of people understand how that works, but more importantly, I don't think people understand how that changes over time. To have a company like yours, that is what you do. You see the changes coming before they hit.
Right.
Therefore, you can kind of guide your group that you have, that you're training now, that you've been very successful at, of where they need to go and where they need to pivot. And I think that is really, really good in what you have. So, what your experience and what you know, I want you to give something before you leave. What kind of advice you can give? I want a starting real estate investor. Okay, what advice you can give them, and
Hmm.
what advice would you give to a seasoned investor right now for us before we end the show? What would be your advice to them?
Okay, for the starting real estate investors, the biggest thing and was most important is I want you to specify where it is or what it is that you want to do in real estate in terms of being an investor. Being a real estate investor is such a broad statement, right? So specify what you want to do in real estate, okay? And then again, identify where you're at. And then you need to see what needs to be done to get you where you want to be. Okay.
Okay.
As a seasoned real estate investor, ask yourself the question, are you where you want to be? A lot of times, what happens is, and I see this a lot in all types of industries, but especially real estate, is for a seasoned real estate investor, we get to a certain point to where we've had a certain amount of success, right? And we want to continue to orbit that success. Now, what happens is we still feel inside that we
Hmm.
want more
That's true.
and we want to expand, but then we get hit with the fear because we've seen market shifts, right? We
Mhm.
may have experienced losing money on deals, right? Or we may
Right.
know other people that have done other things and it keeps us stuck,
Right.
right? So we get to orbiting this realm of success that we've reached, but we still have that inner desire to seek more and
Right.
scale our portfolio. So what I'd say to them is don't be afraid. Just identify a process that is sustainable that you can navigate to get you to the level of scale that you desire. Okay. It's going to take, and I want you to remember the thrust that you had to create to propel yourself into the level of success that you're at now. Remember that. Remember what needed to be done then. Okay. In terms of the energy that you had to put forth, I want you to put that same level of energy towards doing what needs to be done now to
Hmm.
scale you to the next level that you desire to be scaled to.
Right.
You, a lot of times you are, and especially for my seasoned real estate investors, a lot of times you already have the knowledge, you have the information, you have the experience, but you're holding yourself back.
Right.
Okay.
That's for the start. So what about our seasoned ones? The ones
Yeah,
in season.
so the last one was for our season ones.
Okay, for them to actually.
Yeah.
Okay, got you
Yeah,
on that.
because they've gotten that level of success,
Okay.
right? And if there's a seasoned investor that's looking at this, is because they're wanting to scale. They're
Okay,
wanting to
I see
do
what you're
more.
saying.
You see what I'm saying? So, and it's easy to stay put because you're like, okay, this works and this has been working, right?
Right.
I'm afraid to kind of move from this because
Right.
what if it doesn't work the same over there as it does here, right? But there's a reason that you're looking for more. You know that you have more inside and you
Right.
know that you want to scale. So don't be afraid of it. Just find a system that allows you to create that momentum to put you into where it is you want to be in terms of scalability. So if you want to scale your business, scale your business. Just remember the process that it started, that you used to scale it the first time. And whatever energy it took for you to do that, understand that it's going to take the exact same amount of energy, if not a little bit more, to propel you to the next level. Okay. But don't allow it to keep you stuck and orbiting around that level of success that you've already reached. Go ahead and reach that next level. Scale up. It's possible.
And that's why we wanted to have you guys on the show, to have you on the show, because people are trying to scale up, but they don't have the direction.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they figure they just bought. I actually had a client that had a portfolio with out of Arkansas, 27 homes. He was cash poor, 27 properties, cash poor. Didn't know how to get out of that and how to run and how to do all that. So
Right.
I saw then, I'm like, wow, you have all of this and you stuck. Because he thought, oh, I'm just gonna scale up. Well, apparently his scale up was just buy everything, which he had no help. So I think, and I just want to reiterate how important it is, because when they come to us, it makes it hard for us to even help. Even though I'm a lender, it's difficult
Mm-hmm.
for us to help you when you're like that. So you all, to get in contact with Mychael, he has the resource. Someone gave me a note, the one to say, do you do complimentary discovery calls where they can just call you? Is it a fee to call you, to talk to you, to start off for
No, give
initially?
us, if it's real estate, I want you to book a call with us
Okay.
at letsgetpaid.com. Okay.
Let's get paid.com.
Yep. Letsgetpaid.com. Book a call, register for absolutely free.
Okay.
Book a call. One of us will reach out to you and we will understand what your real estate goals are, and we'll have a conversation and direct you from there. But yeah, that's absolutely free.
Okay, so put that in, because yeah, somebody slipped me a note to ask you, was that okay? Did you have something like that? Let's
Absolutely.
get paid.com. So you all heard that. So
Mhm.
we're gonna wrap everything up today, our show for today. We want to thank our guest Mychael for being here, and we recommend that you guys reach out to him. Anything, do all things real estate, because like I said, he got it specific, but guys, he know, I've spoken to him. He knows so much. Just call him to at least be your starter, okay? What you
Mhm.
want to do. And if you would, now I know you gave us let's get paid.com, but could you tell us all, how can they get in touch with you? What's the best way to do
Yes.
that?
So if you want to reach directly out to me, whether you're in real estate, whether you've already scaled and you want to pick Michael's brain, right, in terms of the escape velocity framework, you can reach me at mychaelanderson.com. And that's Michael with a Y. So Mychael Anderson.com. Register. I will reach out to you personally. We can have a conversation, or you can reach me at on LinkedIn as well, at Mychael Anderson, and we can have a discussion from there. So
Okay,
absolutely.
spell your name again, because it is spelled a little different.
Yeah, it's a little different. So it's Michael with a Y. So instead of M-I, it's Mychael. Last name Anderson, Anderson. So you can find me there on LinkedIn. And then the website is mychaelanderson.com.
Which I think is neat and wonderful. Okay, well, again, I want to thank you so much for taking time out your day. I know you are busy and you squeezed us in, and we thank you, thank you, thank you so much. And so we want to thank all of our guests as well, and all our visitors, because we had people here that was listening to you as well, that follow us. He will be on our referral page, guys. So reach out to him. Is there anything you want to say before we close out, Mychael?
No, only thing I will say is the only way out is up. So guys, get to work. You're not stuck.
Okay, sounds like a winner. Well, thank all of you all. You have a great day, and you all take care. Thank you.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of TDJ Equity Funding Insiders Podcast. If you'd like to be a guest or get in touch with us, please visit our website at tdjequityllc.net/podcast or email us at podcast@tdjequityfundinginsiders.net. Until next time, take care.